Hey everyone, Kevin here. I wanted to give you this early morning update on May 18th here regarding the next round of stimulus and why Congress is completely stupid for excluding something so freaking simple that should be included right now. And yeah, it has to do with the $2,000 stimulus checks. And I want to talk to you about this because this is very important for us to sort of log into our political memory, because remember, we vote. We are the ones who pick the people who represent us. And we have to understand what some of these things are. So I'm going to do a quick video here breaking down some of the things Congress was stupid for not including. First things first, I just want to give you a quick heads up. Germany is officially in recession with a 2.2% contraction. China's economy shrank by 3.4%. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe expects that the Japanese economy is now in recession as well. They actually saw their tourism drop by 93%. Obviously, I imagine we'll see numbers like that as well. Fed Jerome Powell sees our contraction potentially in the quarter being somewhere around 10 to 11% for the quarter. Shocking. Approximately. Could be slightly lower. Either way, it's going to be a lot. He kind of implies what he thinks the contraction will be. And now we have the state of Illinois threatening businesses if they defy reopening orders and sort of lockdown orders. I want to hear your comments on some of these things down below. But most importantly, let's talk about some very important things that are left out of the HEROES Act, which was passed by the House. And these are some things that would actually, in my opinion, be very smart for the Senate to include. Remember last week we heard some representatives actually call the Senate the adults in Congress. You know, I think some people might consider that derogatory, and others might look at that and go, yeah, that makes sense. They're the adults. I mean, there are fewer people in the Senate, and I would imagine it's probably harder to become a senator than a representative. And a lot of people start by being a representative, they get their political experience, and then they become senators. And the bill is currently, that 1,800-page bill is currently sitting over in the Senate. So we'll see what happens this week. It'll be eventful. But I want to talk about the things that are not included, and these are some very big things. The first thing that I want to touch on is something called a stabilizer. This is really important to be familiar with because if it comes up, it's something that you should know about. A stabilizer, well, actually, Neil Irwin in the New York Times did a really good piece on this. I'll link this down below. He's I guess you would call him an economic correspondent. He covers the economy and things like that. He's also written quite a few books on the Federal Reserve or sort of central banks and monetary policy and that. All this complicated stuff, right? You can look those up on Amazon. But anyway, he wrote in his thing that, look, there's no better time than there was no better time than right before this crash, like in January or February, to pass these things known as automatic stabilizers. Because automatic stabilizers are these things that basically come in and they automatically increase funding for things like unemployment, food stamps, fiscal relief for states, Medicaid relief, and other things. Basically, they automatically put in relief and stimulus measures when nasty things happen in the economy. So, for example, if the unemployment rate is 3.4% and Congress goes, hey, you know what? If the unemployment rate, for whatever reason, goes above 10%, everybody automatically gets $2,000 a month as a stimulus check until the unemployment rate goes below 10%. Now people have money to spend. People go spend the money at businesses, and businesses automatically get more money, and they're able to put their people to work. That's an automatic stabilizer. If it goes above 15%, hey, maybe it's extended, or you get more stimulus, or states get more money. Maybe you get $2,500 a month until the unemployment rate goes down. Something that automatically happens. And in this article, Neil says that, hey, the best and easiest time to pass something like this is when the economy's booming. Because everybody's like, automatic stabilizer if unemployment rate goes that high? Yeah, sure, that's not going to happen. But yeah, we'll pass that because that sounds good. Well, the problem is, here we are now with an unemployment rate, over 14%, realistically probably over 20%, and we have nothing. We got, a $1,200 stimulus check once. Now it's like a disaster to try to get another $1,200 stimulus check, and it's so depressing that why would Democrats in the House not have included automatic stabilizers in the HEROES Act? There are none. There is nothing that says if unemployment rate is this, at least none that I've read, okay? I mean, look, I don't want somebody to go, oh, Meet Kevin Exposed, he said there were none, and here's one buried on this page. Okay, I suppose that could happen, but clearly nothing's been publicized on this, and I haven't been able to find anything on this. And Neil, in his article, is saying there are no automatic stabilizers in this bill, so You know, this is something that's well read and well documented. At least nobody's seeing it. And if it's there, great. But there's certainly nothing regarding extra stimulus or extra unemployment if numbers are at a certain threshold. And we know recently we've been talking about this because think about the Emergency Money for the People Act. That was a $2,000 bill. That included a stabilizer. It said you will get $2,000 per month per person, certain age and income restrictions, if the unemployment rate is above a certain number for 6 months. And if the unemployment rate is above that number after 6 months, then here you go. You get another 6 months of $2,000 per month. Now is the best time to include these kind of automatic stabilizers to, quote, circumvent the usual partisan gridlock. He goes on to say that the lesson from the Great Recession is that when crisis strikes, even the quickest legislative response tends to be too slow, and that needs tend to linger, while the environment for putting together policy solutions gets more challenging. This is actually Neil quoting Jacob Lew, the former Treasury Secretary. Basically, no Congress is ever going to be fast enough to give us stimulus checks when we need it the most. We need automatic stabilizers. And that those are missing from this HEROES Act that's 18 pages long, absolutely ridiculous. It just seems like, in his opinion, that Congress has little interest in these, and they instead choose to pass what he calls these ad hoc packages, which basically oh crap, there's a fire. Let's deal with that fire now. Oh, no fire. Okay, well, guess we're going on vacation or doing something else. In other words, why don't we install some dumb fire sprinklers? You realize, I will never live in a house without fire sprinklers. My house has fire sprinklers. Most houses do not. But after realizing how quickly fires can spread and living in California and wildfire land, look, most houses don't have fire sprinklers, and most people take the smoke detectors out of the annoying smoke detector things. It's shocking to me because, the function of a fire sprinkler is so great. If there's a fire in this room, within 30 to 60 seconds, that little fire sprinkler breaks, the fire sprinkler puts the fire out here, and nowhere else in the house does the fire sprinkler go off. Instead, a stupid bell rings outside, so people call 911 and somebody comes over and looks, okay, no more fire, and they turn the water off. That is kind of what we need in our economy. Fire pops up, and bell rings. Nobody has to act. Nobody has to fly to Congress to make that happen. It automatically happens. I like that. Okay, next thing that was missing from this. Why are there no liability protections? Why wouldn't they put in the liability protections that Mitch wants? At least something. When you are in a negotiation, it's generally the person who drafts the offer who has more control, because the other person has to counter and kind of revise your language. You have control when you draft the offer. Why would you not take control and put in the liability protections that we know are a red line for the Senate and for Congress? Why let them write the language? You could have written the language. It's 1,800-page bill, and you don't put it in. It's like you knew it was a problem, and so frustrating. So frustrating. Also, no easy ways to receive payment faster than these, we got the direct deposit system, which that was a pain. The mailing check thing, oh my gosh. When are we gonna modernize and hey, sign up for, Apple Pay or Zelle or PayPal? Unbelievable that some of these things aren't in here, but whatever. Also, no real broad payroll guarantee or paycheck guarantee, right? We had an extension of the employee retention credit show up in this bill, but the employee retention credit really only works if your business's income is substantially less than what it was in a similar quarter last year. But this opens you up to audits and headaches and IRS accounting and all this crap and BS. It's complicated. It's very complicated for a business to use the employee retention credit without a CPA doing the work for them. And I think this makes it very hard for employers, especially small businesses, to take advantage of the employee retention credits. And then somehow they're supposed to pass that benefit on to the employees. It's dumb. Some of the things in this bill are very bad. And in my opinion, the lack of the $2,000 per month proposal, which was very reasonable, It's shocking that it was not included in the HEROES Act. Now, hopefully, we will see the Senate respond with some more realistic measures. Maybe we could lean on Senate Democrats to say, look, we actually want to increase the stimulus check payments to consumers or to individuals, not necessarily consumers, even though we are consumers. And we do want automatic stabilizers. So in my opinion, if you want to at all reach out to your senators or representatives or voice your opinion, email your district representatives. Just Google, Ventura County Senator, Ventura County Representative, and then you'll see who's assigned to your district. Remember, two senators per state, and then you have multiple representatives per state. Email them and say, look, hey, we need more support, we need more stimulus payments, and we need automatic stabilizers. How hard is it to include automatic stabilizers? It just seems stupid that they are not in the HEROES Act. So, and the only thing that we can do is voice our opinions. You could share this video, send them this video. Here, look at this video, complain about it. The more we share this kind of content that voices our opinions as individuals, the more we could put our thoughts in front of senators and representatives whose job it is, basically, to represent our interests. I think we are making our interests very clear. I think Jerome Powell is making it very clear that we need additional stimulus. I think most people are making it very clear that the ones getting screwed here are the people who need stimulus. That is, people with lower income, minorities, women. These are disproportionately the people who are getting screwed, and it's not fair. So all we could do is share. And in the meantime, we can get 2 free stocks with Webull by signing up with the link down below. Deposit $100, get 2 free stocks with Webull. At least that's some form of stimulus, although it tends not to be much because it's a little bit of a lottery. You get somewhere between $12 and $1,400. Some people get lucky, some people don't. But at least you get some money back, which is cool for your effort. And then you get to invest in the stock market, sort of open yourself up to doing that and building wealth legitimately. And then, of course, sign up for life insurance because this is a stressful time and you may as well. Again, I posted a little thing on Instagram of me actually showing the life insurance that I signed up for. Can I find it? Oh, it was more than 24 hours ago. But I posted a thing on Instagram saying, hey, look, I actually have the life insurance. I actually pay for it. So I don't just pitch crap that I don't use. I pitch things I believe in. There we go. See, $51.18. So you could see how much life insurance would cost you by going to the link down below. You get a quote and you can Apple Pay for it super quickly. I use my Apple card to pay for it. And of course, join me in my programs. We've got a coupon code with a bundle code down below for you. Use the coupon code checkout and then you get the bundle offer. And as usual, thank you so much for watching, folks. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.